Hi everybody, welcome to One on One. Again, my name is Kevin Stanfield, and today we're going to talk with Grand Junction's new, soon-to-be city clerk, Selestina Sandoval.
You got it.
I got it.
You got it.
Amazing.
Good
We're
job.
off to a good start.
Yes.
So you are the new city clerk for the city of Grand Junction. When do you officially begin your duties?
Officially, that will be June 23rd. Our current city clerk is retiring on July 1st.
Okay, all right. So this is not anything new to you, kind of, sort of. You've been in the office, you've seen what happens, you know what your job entails, okay? So tell our viewers, what does the city clerk do?
That's a great question. I'm happy to answer that. So in our office here for the city clerk's office in the city of Grand Junction, which I specify because city clerks, depending on city to city, town to town, can vary quite a bit. But here in the city of Grand Junction, we take care of 5 major areas.
Okay.
The first one being all things city council. We work with staff to prepare agendas, to take care of packets. The packets are what we refer to as the information that we post online to help council members with their decision making. And the great thing about that is that we post that right on our website. There's no secret portal for council to go in and get their information. It's whatever the public sees, so they are able to review that for the meeting and be able to go in educated on the matters.
Okay.
After the meetings, we take care of executing the ordinances, codifications, as well as resolutions and other documents. So that's the first one. The second thing that the second area that we're responsible for is liquor licensing.
Okay.
So we work with all of the establishments within city limits to issue liquor licenses, new licenses, renewals, modifications. So we get to work with establishments
Is
to
it
do
because
that.
there's only a certain amount of licenses available or allowed?
No.
Okay.
No, they just need a license if they want to sell alcohol.
Okay.
So they would need to apply to us and to the state of Colorado to be
I think
able
I
to
must
do
be
that.
thinking of the cannabis industry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's where I was thinking. Okay.
So that leads me into the third area. That's
Okay.
kind of a new area for us, and that's cannabis licensing. And we do have a cap on those, which is 10 licenses. We currently have about 5 businesses up and running and 5 others that are working to get there. So beyond that, we do KORA requests, Colorado Open Records Act. So we make sure that our government is transparent to the public. A really cool fun fact is that we actually have old books in our vault with handwritten ordinances that date back to the 1800s.
Wow.
So we are the keeper of the records in that regards. And the last thing are elections. So
Okay.
we typically coordinate with the county. They take care of our elections, but we would be the office that someone would come to if they want to throw their hat in the ring for a council member during an election period. Campaign financing reporting and stuff like that. So,
I got to ask you this question in relation to elections.
sir?
What is your thought? What are your thoughts? I'm sure you watch the news and what's happening and the trends that are leading a lot of the politics these days. What are your thoughts on election rigging and elections that are stolen and that sort of thing? Give me your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think it's really sad. I think it's unfortunate because we live in a democracy where it used to be an exciting time where people could go and cast their vote and make their voice heard. And now it's almost like a really negative, scary experience. And so the great thing is I really wish that people would get involved in their government and get to know their city clerks and their county clerks because they're really passionate about transparency and doing things right.
But you gotta reassure everybody. These elections, they've got so much redundancy, so to speak,
Yes.
involved with it. They are safe, they are secure, they're valid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that is the communication aspect that needs to be sent out. And I wish people would be more involved and be able to educate themselves on the process. Because once they know that there are the checks and balances and just how difficult it would be to rig an election, I think some of that, that fear would go away and we would be able to get that voter confidence back.
Thank you for indulging me there with that question.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Back to what it takes to be the city clerk. You've been in this environment for a number of years, right?
Yes.
You know what the issues are. So tell me now, what are the biggest challenges facing the city of Grand Junction? I would assume that growth is a big one.
Absolutely.
And maybe housing. Am I on track?
You are on track, absolutely. Housing growth. You know, we live in a desert area, so water conservation is a big concern. All of those things, and we are growing like crazy. So all of the things that come hand in hand with that, we need to address and make sure that we have the infrastructure in place. You see some communities that don't address that on the front end, and then they get into problems where they can't keep up with it in the later stages.
You got to be proactive. You can't be reactive when it comes to this.
Absolutely, and we have been so blessed because our leaders have really been great about being proactive with those things.
Yeah, you don't have a crystal ball that you look into.
Well,
no?
I try, but it doesn't talk. It doesn't
All
talk.
right, all right. What are some of the other big issues, big challenges facing GJ?
Well, you know, it's no secret, homelessness, houselessness. That is something that we are working really, really hard. We have a department that's working hand in hand with organizations to see if we can find a solution. There's definitely, like you said, there's not a crystal ball where you can find one solution that's going to work. So we're hitting it from a lot of different angles and just trying to come up with something that works for our community.
I was back here in 2010, and there was a little bit of growth going on, but coming back to Grand Junction on the western slope, I am just amazed at how much growth has happened, how much growth is happening right now, all the construction going on right now. How do you keep track of all that? You've got to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, you hire people that are smarter than you, right? I mean, consultants, people that use statistics, people that run numbers. And, you know, it's kind of a catch-22. We have this wonderful division, Visit Grand Junction, that has an amazing director that are bringing people. Look what we have here to offer you. Come and hike. Come and see the National Monument. But then people move here, which is wonderful. But at the same time, I like my trails. I like to be able to go and not see the crowds that maybe they see at Moab. So it's in a way a good problem to have, but it's definitely something that we need to keep our attention on.
You got to strike that balance.
Yes.
Okay. How about one final big challenge that's on the horizon there that you guys are just beginning to address?
Change in leadership. Our city manager, who was with us for 8 years, has moved on to Scottsdale. So we do have an interim city manager right now, and we are looking for our next fearless leader. So that is potentially a challenge, but hopefully an opportunity.
Big general question here. What do you think is the biggest misconception that residents have when it comes to city leadership, city government, that sort of thing?
We're in the news a lot based on different decisions that we make. But again, I think that actually is a testament to the fact that we are doing something. If we did nothing and if we just maintained the status quo, we would never get the negative publicity or even the positive publicity. But the city does a lot of great things. We're doing a lot of great things. We have really great visionaries in our leadership team. And I think that if people just really looked at the resources to get more information, I think they would be really pleased in the direction that we're moving in.
It's again, a delicate balance. People, just because it's human nature, they don't like change a whole lot. Yes. But I think you hit the nail on the head then when you can't be satisfied with the status quo. You've constantly got to be innovative. You've got to be looking into that crystal ball, yes. Going back to that analogy here. Yes. So I don't envy what you have to do in trying to keep the reins over what's happening, the control, if not control, then just to be able to be able to manage it. So Selestina, I thank you so much for chatting with us and
it's been a pleasure.
for everybody to get to know you.
Thank you.
All right.